Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are uncovering one of the most shocking and exciting stories in modern coin collecting, because we are talking about a 1994 1-cent coin that could be worth as much as $11 million due to rare mint errors, extraordinary production mistakes, and unbelievable circumstances that transformed an ordinary penny into a potential life-changing treasure. And if that sounds impossible for a small copper-plated coin that most people toss into jars or leave in their cars, stay with me, because the deeper we go into the details, the more you will understand how a simple 1994 Lincoln cent could become one of the most valuable modern coins ever discovered. The 1994 Lincoln penny, produced by the United States Mint, features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. A design that was standard from 1959 through 2008. And while billions of these coins were struck in copper-plated zinc with a standard weight of 2.5 grams, it only takes one dramatic deviation from mint standards to create a coin that collectors would fight over at elite auctions, and when multiple rare errors combine on a single coin, the value can climb into astonishing territory. One of the most powerful possibilities that could push a 1994 penny toward an $11 million valuation is a wrong planchet error, where the coin is struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination or even another country, creating an immediate difference in weight, thickness, and color. And if a 1994 cent were discovered struck on a dime planchet, nickel stock, or an experimental alloy not meant for circulation, and if that coin were authenticated and certified as unique, the sheer rarity could ignite a bidding war among high-level collectors. Another incredible factor is the possibility of a transitional composition error, because during the minting process metal supplies are handled in massive quantities, and on rare occasions leftover blanks from experimental runs or different metal compositions can be fed into presses accidentally. And if a 1994 penny were found struck in a non-standard metal such as solid copper with an incorrect weight, or another unusual alloy verified by metallurgical analysis, that mistake alone could turn it into a legendary modern rarity. Then we have dramatic double die errors, which occur when the die used to strike the coin receives a misaligned impression during its creation, resulting in visible doubling on the date, lettering, or design elements. And while minor machine doubling is common and not valuable, true double die varieties with strong, separated, raised duplication can command enormous premiums, especially if the doubling is bold on the date 1994 or the words Liberty and I in God We Trust. And when such doubling appears in pristine uncirculated condition, the desirability multiplies. Die cracks and cuts are another important category of errors that can elevate value significantly, because as dies wear and fracture under immense pressure, cracks form that transfer raised lines of metal onto coins, and in extreme cases a portion of the die breaks away completely, creating a cut that leaves a large, raised blob along the rim. And if a 1994 penny were discovered with a massive retained cut combined with other striking abnormalities, it would stand out immediately to specialists. Off-center strikes are visually dramatic and highly collectible when the design is shifted significantly away from the center yet still shows a complete and readable date, and the more extreme the misalignment, especially beyond 50%, the more interest it generates, particularly if the coin remains in mint state condition without wear. Broad strike errors occur when the retaining collar fails during the strike, allowing the metal to expand beyond its normal diameter, creating a coin that appears stretched and wider than usual. And if such a broad strike were paired with a wrong planchet or doubled die, the uniqueness of that combination could justify extraordinary auction results. Double denomination errors, while extremely rare, are among the most spectacular mint mistakes known, occurring when a coin is struck by dies intended for two different denominations, leaving overlapping design elements. And if a 1994 cent displayed traces of another denomination impressed over its surface, it would instantly become a headline piece in the numismatic world. Mule errors represent another astonishing possibility, where an obverse die is mistakenly paired with a reverse die not intended for that coin, and although rare, documented mule coins have achieved enormous values. So if a 1994 Lincoln obverse were discovered paired with an incorrect reverse die, especially one never meant to be used for cents, the historical significance and rarity would drive collectors into a frenzy. rotated die errors, where the reverse design is misaligned relative to the obverse by a significant angle, can also bring strong premiums, especially when the rotation approaches 90 or 180 degrees, and dramatic examples from popular series are always in demand. Clipped planchet errors, created when the metal blank is improperly cut from the strip before striking, leave curved or straight missing sections along the rim. An authentic example shows specific characteristics such as weakened rims opposite the clip, and while many clipped coins are moderately valuable, an extreme clip combined with another major error could dramatically elevate price. Strike-through errors caused by debris, grease, or foreign material between the die and the planchet can create unusual textures or missing design elements, and when these errors are bold and visually striking, they attract strong collector interest. Lamination errors, where layers of metal separate or peel due to imperfections in the blank, add another layer of rarity, particularly if the lamination is large and dramatic. Condition is absolutely critical in reaching an $11 million valuation, because even the rarest error loses significant value if heavily worn, and coins graded at the highest mint state levels by respected third-party grading services command exponential premiums, especially when population reports show only 1 or 2 examples at that grade. Rarity, authenticity, condition, and story all combine to determine final auction outcomes, and if a unique 1994 penny with multiple dramatic mint errors were discovered in flawless red mint state condition, certified and publicized through a major auction house, media coverage and collector competition could push bidding to extraordinary heights. History has proven that collectors will pay staggering amounts for coins that represent mistakes never meant to leave the mint, and as minting technology improves, truly dramatic errors become even rarer, making surviving examples more desirable than ever. The idea that a simple 1994 penny could be worth $11 million may sound unbelievable, but in the world of numismatics, uniqueness and verified mint errors can shatter expectations, and the possibility that such a coin could still be hiding in a forgotten jar, an old bankroll, or tucked away in a childhood collection is what keeps collectors searching relentlessly. So before you dismiss any 1994 1-cent coin as common pocket change, examine it carefully, check the weight, inspect the lettering for strong doubling, look for unusual metal color or thickness, rotate it to test alignment, and pay attention to anything that looks different from a standard example, because the smallest deviation could signal a mint mistake of historic proportions, and while the odds are slim, they are not impossible. And every record-breaking discovery once began as an overlooked coin in someone's hand. Which means that somewhere out there, a 1994 penny with extraordinary errors and mistakes could be waiting to rewrite auction history and change someone's life forever.